All right, today we're going to talk about something that's maybe less about the glamour of broadcasting and more about a core fundamental duty, the emergency alert system. Look, for any broadcaster out there, this system, or EAS, isn't just another piece of gear. It's a critical, non-negotiable part of the job. Let's dive in. And just so you know, everything we're about to cover comes from Chapter 23 of the Modern Broadcast Transmission Series. So with that out of the way, let's get back to the mission at hand. You know, we really have to frame this the right way. This isn't just about checking a box for the FCC. We're talking about being a literal lifeline to the public. Think about it. When every other line of communication might be down, cell towers, internet, your signal has to be the one that gets through. It's a huge part of the deal you make when you use the public airwaves.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The public puts an immense amount of trust in broadcasters during a crisis. When you hold that broadcast license, you're basically promising to be that calm, reliable voice when people are scared and need information the most. And the EAS? Well, that's the tool that guarantees you can keep that promise instantly.
So how does this whole thing actually work? I mean, how does a warning from, say, the National Weather Service end up breaking into your programming in just a few seconds? It all happens through this incredibly reliable, automated process that you can think of as the EAS alert chain. Okay, so let's walk through this because it's pretty slick. First, your EAS equipment is always listening. Just sitting there, monitoring other radio stations, weather radio, internet servers, waiting for a trigger. As soon as it hears one, it decodes the digital message and asks two questions. Is this real? And is it for my audience? If the answer is yes to both, boom. It automatically takes over your air signal and broadcasts the alert. And the whole time, it's keeping a detailed log of every single thing it does, which is absolutely key for staying compliant. The best part? It's all hands-off. So what's the magic behind this classic system? It's a protocol called SAME, which stands for Specific Area Message Encoding. This is the tech that basically tells your gear the who, what, and where of an alert. It uses these things called Phipps county codes to target warnings with pinpoint accuracy. That way, a tornado warning in the next county over doesn't interrupt the programming for your listeners who aren't in danger. It's pretty smart.
You know those weird, screechy digital sounds you hear at the start of an alert? Well, that's not just noise. Those are data bursts. They're made up of two very specific audio frequencies, and packed inside those tones is all that same data. It's like the alert's digital DNA. It's an incredibly robust system that was designed to work over a simple audio line.
Right, so it's not enough to just buy the box, stick it in the rack, and forget about it. No siree. The FCC has a very strict protocol for testing to make sure every single link in that alert chain is working perfectly. This is all about being ready all the time.
And this testing schedule? It's not optional. Every single week, you've got the required weekly test, the RWT, just to make sure the gear is on and the printer has paper. Then, once a month, there's a state-level test that makes sure the whole regional system is talking to each other. And every now and then, FEMA kicks off a nationwide test to ensure that a presidential alert could get to every single person in the country if needed.
And every test, every real alert, every little hiccup, it all has to be logged. You have to remember this. In the eyes of the FCC, if you didn't log it, it never happened. Those logs are your proof that you're doing your job. And trust me, it's one of the first things an inspector is going to want to see.
So being compliant is more than just having the EAS decoder itself. You got to have it on backup power, because what good is an emergency alert system if the power's out? It has to talk seamlessly with your station's automation, so it can break in and then get back to regular programming without a mess. Obviously, you need those logs we just talked about. And you have to be listening to multiple sources for alerts, just in case one of them goes down. Redundancy is key.
Now, that old tone-based EAS system has been a real workhorse for decades. But technology, it moves on. So let's talk about what's next, which is actually already here, the Common Alerting Protocol, or CAP.
And wow, when you put these two side by side, you can really see the evolution. Instead of audio tones, CAP uses a standard data format, XML. Instead of just relying on that radio daisy chain, it gets delivered over the internet, which gives us a whole separate powerful path for alerts. This means we're moving from a system that's just audio to one that can handle all sorts of rich media and even alerts in multiple languages. It's a huge leap.
So the benefits here are just massive. With CAP, you can get way more detailed information out to people. You can break down language barriers. You can send alerts not just to radios and TVs, but to websites, to cell phones, to digital highway signs, you name it. And that extra internet-based path for alerts, it just makes the whole public warning system that much more robust. And that really brings us to the bottom line, the single most important takeaway from all of this. It doesn't matter if you're using the old school ES or the new CAP system, the expectation is perfection. This is the one device in your entire building that has to work flawlessly the first time it's called upon, because in a real emergency, you don't get a second chance.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. That box sits there in the rack, day in and day out, quiet as a mouse, 99.9% of the time. But are you 100% certain that in that one split second when it matters most, it's going to wake up and do its job? That's the standard. That's the mission.